Fantastic Friday, everyone. Rob Holtzmann, owner of Holtzmann Insurance here. Excited to be with you today. HoltzmannInsurance.com. Check us out on the internet via Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn. The first of what hopes to become a standard monthly webinar for clients, friends, family, hecklers, slackers, and couch potatoes alike. Doesn't matter what you do in life, where you work, how old you are, married, single, short, tall, overweight, or in the best shape of your life. This webinar will help you ultimately save money, save valuable time, and afford you peace of mind knowing your insurable interests are covered properly. Before we get into the valuable tools of how to navigate your way through the insurance world, a few quick updates from Holtzmann Insurance. My wife Lauren and I opened this business last May with the dream of offering our clients the best service and the best rates for your insurance so you don't have to think about it until you need it. Lauren continues to work independently of Holtzmann Insurance, but I've been focused on making that dream a reality every day. Our core values mean a lot, so much so that you'll see them framed on the wall of the office when you come in to say hello. There is no doubt in my mind that the service, advice, respect, and appreciation that you will get by being a client at Holtzmann Insurance will simply blow you away. To that end, I send out a monthly newsletter entitled The Neighborhood Expert Opinion that reaches over 700 homes now. You'll find helpful insurance updates on issues like the importance of 50/100 insurance, our topic today. I also include a recipe each month, so if you've got a favorite dish that you want to share with friends, please email that to me at rob@holtzmanninsurance.com. And finally, I always include a question that if you're the first to answer, you'll get a free pizza. If you're not on the list to receive that hard copy full-color newsletter each month, please let me know by emailing me at rob@holtzmanninsurance.com. I announced recently, and I'm very proud to be endorsed now by Dave Ramsey. Dave is a longtime financial advisor, radio host, and business extraordinaire. If you've ever listened to Dave or read one of his books, you know he has the heart of a teacher, and he requires his endorsed agents to have the same. I really do enjoy talking with clients and friends about insurance and how to use it to your benefit, so this really is a quite natural fit. Only 2 other agents in the region have received this endorsement, so it's a pretty exclusive club. There's a picture of Dave and I in Nashville recently. I had a great time meeting with him and his staff, and there's a picture of Dave's car. As I was leaving, I spotted it in the corner and just couldn't resist taking a picture. You'll notice the reserved, not for you striping there as well. Gotta love that, and of course, remember, he paid cash for that car. If you've been receiving the newsletter, then you already know about the Holtzmann Insurance Gives Back program. Each month, I invite clients, friends, and family to participate in a volunteer activity that gives to our community in some form or fashion. Volunteerism is in my blood, and I enjoy giving back to a great community that has supported me and my family for so long. There are some pictures of some prior events we've had, and backed by popular demand, this coming Wednesday, April 9th, we will be at the Open Hands Soup Kitchen to help feed the homeless in our community. That starts at 4:30 and only runs for 2 hours, so take some time out, leave work a bit early. We'll still have you home for quality time with your family, but do something good for someone else. Come on out next Wednesday, April 9th, to the Open Hands Soup Kitchen. If you aren't able to make that event, you can join us on Saturday morning, April 12th from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. when we clean up trash along the 1300 block of Belmar Drive in the Camp Taylor neighborhood. That's part of Mayor Greg Fisher's Day of Service, and Holtzmann Insurance is proud to participate. If you're interested in either event, please email me at rob@holtzmanninsurance.com or call me at 502-384-9176. Remember, need knows no season. And now, ladies and gentlemen, down to the business at hand, the reason for this webinar, learning why 50/100 liability limits will save you money, provide you with better protection, and ultimately afford you more peace of mind. A lot of times when I'm talking with clients about liability limits, I'll see their eyes gloss over. Certainly, it can be a bit complex trying to understand 25/50, 50/100, 100/300, and 250/500. And I can appreciate that insurance agents will throw these terms around so quickly, it'll make your head spin. Let me break it down for you. There are two numbers we're looking at when we say 2550 or 5000 and so on and so on. We'll take 2550 for starters. 25 is equal to 25,000 and 50 is equal to 50,000. So it's actually $25,000 and $50,000 we're talking about. The first number, 25, stands for how much money an insurance company will provide to someone that is involved in a motor vehicle accident that you caused, from medical expenses, bodily injury, pain and suffering, and or funeral expenses, etc., etc. 50,000 is the aggregate number an insurance company will pay for any one accident that you caused. Clear as mud? Let's look at an example. Let's say you're headed down the road listening to your favorite Britney Spears CD and run a red light. Bam, you did it again. You hit a car that has two people in it at the time. Those two people are sent to the hospital as a precaution. All of their medical expenses, both at the time of the accident and reoccurring, will be covered by your insurance company to a certain level. That level, of course, depends on your coverage limits, 2550, 5000, 100, 300, or 250, 500. Starting to make sense? So what does all this have to do with saving money? Logic would tell you that if you decide to go with 2550 coverage, which is the state minimum in Kentucky, by the way, you are much more likely to pay less than the person that has 250, 500 coverage. But let me make something very clear to you. There's very little logic when it comes to insurance terminology. We're talking about the same industry that has a coverage called comprehensive that, oh, by the way, isn't actually comprehensive. Anyway, just because your limits are lower does not mean the amount you pay each month will be lower than the person with higher limits. Why is that? Remember, insurance is all about risk, and with higher risk comes higher premiums. Since 2550 is the state minimum in Kentucky, who do you think tries to get those rates? Perhaps those that simply need to get insurance to get their tags for the year? Perhaps those that have had prior DUIs and a lot of at-fault accidents. Now, I'm not knocking those people. We've all made mistakes before, but because those people are considered higher risk by insurance companies, they are more likely to pay more each month. So little old you comes along and wants to buy insurance, no accidents, no DUIs, clean as a whistle. A company puts you at 2550 liability limits, but you notice over time that your rates keep going up and up and up. That's partly because you were in a higher risk pool. I call it a cesspool of insured people. So how do you get out of that cesspool and take your rates from continually going up to leveling off and maybe even going down? You guessed it, by increasing your limits to 50, 100, or above. The higher you go with your limits and the longer you stay there, accident-free, the better risk you are and the more interested insurance companies will be in your business. Might you pay a bit more at first for higher limits? Sure. Insurance companies don't like to bring on a risk that has been at 2550 for any given time, but over time, will those rates start staying around the same each renewal term? You betcha. Now, I've left out an important part of bringing your liability limits up to a higher level. Yes, you will save money over time, but equally as important, you are better protected. Let's think about it together. If we use the same example as before, with two people going to the hospital that you hit, how likely do you think it will be for their bill to be less than $25,000? Heck, I've heard some hospitals are now charging $5,000 just to walk in the door. I recently had my head examined, for obvious reasons, and had an MRI done, and it cost my health insurance company over $8,000. So what happens if charges are above and beyond the amount of insurance you have? Guess who's left on the hook to pay that leftover expense? You. That leads into next month's discussion about umbrella policies and the benefit they bring to you and your family by covering those overages from auto and home liability limits. So takeaways from today's webinar: in my opinion, never settle for state minimum coverage. It's a bad deal all around. You'll pay more and get less coverage, leaving you more at risk. The higher the liability limit, the more protected you are. My opinion is to go no less than 100, 300 for your coverage limits. An umbrella policy will help with expenses that go above and beyond the liability limits of your home and auto policies. One quick thing before we sign off for the month: the Holtzmann Insurance Referral Program has been a huge success. If you're a client of Holtzmann Insurance, first and foremost, thank you for your trust. And if you know of a friend that might need insurance, send them my way. When they mention your name, I'll send you a certificate for a free pizza. You'll also be entered into a drawing to receive a Kindle Fire HD at the end of June. In April, we're running a promotion that calls for a free pizza drawing every Friday for referrals from the previous week. Remember, Holtzmann Insurance, better coverage, better rates, free pizza. Thanks for taking time out of your day today and listening and join in with me. It's been a pleasure and hopefully the first of many more to come. Remember our Holtzmann Insurance Gives Back events this coming Wednesday and Saturday. Email me at rob@holtzmanninsurance.com or call me at 502-384-9176 if I can be of assistance to you. I look forward to being back with you again next month. Until then, so long.